A very good morning to all my dear students. How are you all? I hope that you all are fine and fit and you all are studying well at your home. Yes, I know that all my students are very much attentive and they are doing their work very well. As you all know, I am your English teacher, Miss Priyanka. And in today's class, we are going to move from grammar to MCB. Yes, so students, today you don't have to take out your grammar book. You have to take out your English MCB book and you have to come on page number 18, chapter number 4, right? So students, as you all know that today we are going to read a chapter and the name of the chapter is itself a new word for you all. So students, tell me, how will we pronounce the name of this chapter? Will it be Luncheon? Will it be Luncheon? What I will say? No, the correct pronunciation of this word is Luncheon. All of you repeat after me. Yes, it is Luncheon. So students, we are on chapter number 4, the Luncheon, right? Now, before going ahead in the chapter and before learning more what the chapter is telling us, first we should know that what the title itself means, right? It's a new word for all of us, so we should know the meaning of luncheon. Actually students, luncheon means a formal lunch, right? When we go for a formal lunch, we call it luncheon. What do we call it? Luncheon. Yes student, and this chapter, this portion is written by the author Somerset Maugham, right? Some of them call this word as, pronounce this word as Maugham, and some of them call it as Maugham. So we are calling it as Maugham, Somerset Maugham, right? You can see that some lines are given on page number 22 about the author, and you can there see the name of the author, right? So before beginning with the chapter, let me tell you some points about the author so that you can know about him more. Alright? Somerset Maugham, he was born in 1874 and he died in 1965. He was an English playwright, novelist and short story writer, right? His most well-known work is the novel Of Human Bondage, right? What is his most well-known work? It is Of Human Bondage. He was highly popular in his time and became very rich by writing, right? So he became very rich by writing. His first novel was Liza of Lambeth. What was the name of the first novel? Liza of Lambeth. His first novel, Liza of Lambeth, sold out so rapidly that Maugham gave up medicine to write full time. Earlier he was a physician, so he left medicine and he became a writer, a full-time writer, right? And some of his famous works are The Moon and Sixpence, The Razor's Edge, The Painted Veil, and there are many more, right students? So these are some of the lines which I told you about the author so that you all can learn more about him, right? So before learning this chapter or before going into this chapter, first we should know the meaning of some difficult words that are going to come, right? So students, the first difficult word here is luncheon. Tell me, what is the first difficult word? Luncheon, and the meaning is a formal lunch, right? Next word here is caught sight of. Caught sight of means saw. It means I saw someone. Saw. It is caught sight of, right? The next word is cemetery. First, all of you pronounce it after me. How you are going to pronounce this word? Cemetery, right? and the meaning is a place where dead people are buried. Alright? Next word is senators. How you are going to pronounce it? Senators. And what is the meaning of this word? The meaning of this word is elected politicians. Elected politicians. Right? And on page number 18, if you see, there is last word meaning left. It is flattered. Yes, all of you pronounce this word after me. How you are going to pronounce this word? It is flattered. Right? And the meaning is be pleased because someone has made you feel important. When someone make us feel important, the word for it is flattered. Alright, students? Students, now all of you open your book and come on page number 18, chapter number 4, the Luncheon. Right? I will begin reading and all of you have to focus on the voice modulation, on the intonation of voice and the correct pronunciation. You should focus how I am reading a particular word. When we will have live classes, I will ask you to read. Right? So you should know how you have to pronounce a particular word. Side by side, I will be explaining you the chapter. Just now I have given you a brief. I told you about the author. I explained you the difficult words and now we are going to understand what the chapter is all about. Okay? So all of you take out page number 18. Shreya, Ishan, all of you have to be very attentive. Khushi, yes, you all have to be very attentive. Page number 18. Which cuisine do you enjoy the most and why? Where do you eat it most frequently? At home? At a restaurant? At a friend's or relative's house? Read about a lunch that was not so enjoyable for the writer. So here in this chapter we are talking about, the writer is telling about a lunch which was not so, he didn't like that lunch at that time. But what happened? Why didn't he like? We will learn in the chapter only. Alright? Let us read. I caught sight of her at the play and in answer to her beckoning, I went over during the interval and sat down beside her. It was long since I had last seen her, and if someone had not mentioned her name, I hardly think I would have recognized her. She addressed me brightly. Here, the writer is telling about a lady. He said that she sat beside me, but I didn't remember her. And I didn't, actually we met years back, but right now I am not remembering her, but she just greeted me so brightly, right? So writer is about to tell some incident that what happened actually in the past, alright? Well, it's many years since we first met. How time does fly. We are none of us getting any younger. Do you remember the first time I saw you? You asked me to luncheon. Did I remember? So now they are talking about their past, that do you remember me? We both went for luncheon. So here writer is thinking that did I remember means he is not actually getting all the memories, but on the other hand he knows and he understand that who she is or who that lady actually is, right? Now writer is about to begin with the incident that what happened years back, right? Why that lunch was not so favorable for him, right? He is now narrating that incident. It was 20 years ago and I was living in Paris. I had a tiny apartment in the Latin Quarter overlooking a cemetery, and I was earning barely enough money to keep body and soul together. So here the writer is just going in the past and he's remembering that what happened 20 years back. What happened? That he was living in a little apartment, right, in a Latin apartment which was nearby a cemetery, right, and he was not so well off, he was not so rich at that time, right, he was just barely earning a little amount of money. She had read a book of mine and had written to me about it. So the lady whom he was talking, she has earlier read a book of the writer and she wrote about that book to the writer, right? I answered thanking her. She had read a book of mine and had written to me about it. I answered thanking her, and presently I received from her another letter saying she was passing through Paris and would like to have a chat with me. But her time was limited and the only free moment she had was on the following Thursday. She was spending the morning in Luxembourg and would I give her a little luncheon at Quartz afterwards. So now he said that he is remembering about the incident that happened 20 years back. He got a letter from the lady and the lady asked that can we both go to a lunch, right, so that we can discuss, and I have read your books are very nice, your writings are really amazing, so I want to meet you, can we both have a lunch, but I'm always not free, right, I'm not free always, so when can I meet? So the lady told that I am only free on in the upcoming Thursday, right, and can we meet at a restaurant, and the name of the restaurant was Quartz, right, so she said that can we have a lunch in Quartz, alright. Quartz is a restaurant at which the French senators eat, and it was so far beyond my means. Now the writer is saying that Quartz is a very hi-fi restaurant. Actually, the senators, the rich people or the elected politicians, they go to that restaurant. So it is just out of my means. It means I cannot afford that restaurant. So he thought that should I go there with the lady or not? Right? He's thinking in his mind. I had never ever thought of going there. So the writer is saying that it is so expensive that I cannot afford it and I have never thought of going to that restaurant. But I was flattered and I was too young to have learned to say no to a woman. And he was so flattered. Why he was so flattered? Because the lady who read the writings of the author, she was so happy by the writings and she praised the writer about his writing. So the writer got flattered. Wow, she is saying such good things about me. And he was so young at that time that he was not understanding that whether he should say yes or no to the lady. Although the restaurant is so expensive, he cannot afford it. But on the other side, he cannot say no to the lady. Right? So here he is in a great dilemma that whether I should go with the lady or whether I should sit at my home only. Right? So students, we have just now covered page number 18 of your book, and I have explained you about the beginning of the chapter, that what actually is happening. There is one writer, there is one lady who is means reading the writings of the author and she is liking them. Now the lady invites she asks the writer that we both should go for a lunch, and she asks for a lunch in a very hi-fi expensive restaurant, Quartz, right? And now the writer is in a dilemma that whether I should go or whether I should not go because it is very expensive, right? So till now in this chapter we have read till here and we have completed page number 18. Now students, it is your turn. What you have to do? First you have to write the name of the chapter. You are going to write today's date, listen to me very carefully, so that you all will do the work in a very nice way, right? You all have to do this work nicely. You have to mention the date, you have to write the name of the chapter. Then you can see there is one picture given on page number 18. Here you can see the picture is given on page number 18. Yes, so you have to draw this picture as the front page, right? You have to draw this picture on whole page. Then in the next page you are going to write the word meanings that are given on page number 18. I think there are 5 word meanings. So you have to write the word meanings. You have to make use of black pen and blue pen. You are not going to make use of any other pen, and your handwriting should be very beautiful. It should be legible. Alright students, are you getting it? So what you have to do, you have to write the name of the chapter, you have to write the date. Then in one page you are going to make a beautiful drawing. You can color it with pencil colors, and in the next page you are going to write the word meanings. Is it clear to you all? I hope that chapter number 4, page number 18 is clear to you all. Now in the next class we will move ahead. Thank you so much class.